I'm a senior researcher at the Institute for Advanced Studies, and our main remit is RRI, Responsible Research and Innovations. Well, the key message, obviously, of responsible research and innovation is that industry needs to democratize its knowledge creation processes. The question is how innovation and research done in industry be better embedded in society, how we can use alternative knowledge hierarchies, not looking at people as users only, not looking at technology as solving problems, offering techno fixes to such problems, but looking at both society, innovation more broadly, creating a more democratic culture in which stakeholders of the innovation process can jump in, can come in, can contribute, and also can take out knowledges that then they can develop further. I also think that there is an overlap between what we call corporate social responsibility and responsible research and innovation. And responsible research and innovation can learn a lot from the evolution of CSR in the past 10, 15, 20 years. Also understand how corporations became politicized entities in which not only the internal stakeholders determine the value that the economic benefit that the corporation creates, but also a wider network of societal actors are also involved in the value creation process. Same is true for RRI. Innovation is a public good, but we should open up these processes and create a more democratic culture of innovation. You asked about ethical leadership, where leaders know what is to be done, how is it done. There's a learning process involved, but the main goal is to involve stakeholders into the research and innovation process, preferably as early as possible. Also in the co-creation, both research agendas, also how and what the problems are that we try to solve, move away somewhat from technology as the only solution to our societal problems. I think there's lots to be learned from what has been done in the past 20 years. For instance, we're working with the Austrian Railways that started to do an open innovation lab in which they started to co-create with their clients, customers, certain services. So it was a service design process, and then they created, based on this open innovation laboratory, they created an open innovation factory, and now they're thinking even bigger. Vienna as a city is a hub for new technologies in mobility. And when you design new technologies in mobility, you need to involve your stakeholders. So we're thinking together with the Austrian Railways how to make that happen, invite companies, invite users, invite SMEs, invite research institutions, academic institutions to a space in which they can exchange, in which they can innovate together in different constellations. And we hope that Vienna can further develop into a new mobility hub for the future. How does it happen in the old way of doing things? In the old way of doing things, industry comes up with a design, and then regulators or the market likes it, and then we have a lot of CCTV TVs all around. Then regulation comes in and says, well, based on the regulatory environment that we have been doing in the past, maybe we need to regulate this from a privacy setting. So two normative top-down ideals will determine how CCTVs will be used. I think it's much better that we co-create together with stakeholders from early on, share their privacy concerns, share their security concerns, together with people who can make this technology happen. And maybe we won't have CCTVs, but once these stakeholder ideals come to play, security and privacy, maybe we'll have totally different designs. I'll give you another example. The Fraunhofer Institute in Berlin is experimenting with what they call Shaping Futures project, in which they invite lay people, they invite engineers, they invite researchers into a dialogue process in which they give them problems to solve. And then once the ideas take shape, industrial designers create prototypes based on the ideas that were shared around the table. And then prototypes are again tested with the same set of people. Then they're then put into an engineering process. And maybe we won't have cars, maybe we won't have CCTVs, but we will have very different technologies all around us, which have been co-created. For me, RRI is opening up our engineering-led culture. Today, it is engineers and industrial players who determine our social life, our environment. They've done a pretty good job, but maybe they can do even better if they invite others to this process. Okay, so today and yesterday, we have created technologies that were offered to us by engineers and were tested by the market. I think that we need to open this up. Then maybe we'll have totally different types of technologies, or in some cases we won't need technologies at all. I think if we look out the window, we are seeing cars all around. It's stupid. Let's open up and imagine a different technology environment in which many types of forms, shapes, materials would come to play. And I think this can only happen if we also invite different stakeholders, different visions to the table.